President Trump issues executive orders to deal with coronavirus relief, and Nancy Pelosi has a meltdown. Senator Lindsey Graham finds more corruption related to the FBI and the Steele dossier. Plus, Democrat Rashida Tlaib gets caught violating campaign finance laws. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour.
And God bless the United States of America.
All right, friends, welcome to the show. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to start with President Trump because he was busy this weekend. He issued 4 executive orders dealing with coronavirus relief. And you're probably wondering, why executive orders? Well, it's because despite meeting over and over again, the Democrats don't want any action. They don't want relief. They want this huge boondoggle of spending or nothing. They'd rather keep the American people locked down, dependent on government, so that they could have a campaign issue. Rather than helping the American people, they want to blame President Trump and make it an issue in the 2020 election against Joe Biden. The White House and the Democrats have met 11 times to negotiate this next round of coronavirus relief, and nothing has gotten done. Here are comments from Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin.
Let's pass legislation on things that we agree on. Let's not hold up money to education for kids getting back to school safely. Let's not hold up money to state and local governments where they need it.
So, these are the items that the Democrats are willing to just push aside, to delay and obstruct. And why? To blame President Trump. As I mentioned, they want this to be a campaign issue against Joe Biden. That's one reason. The Treasury Secretary points out another.
The Democrats have to come off of a ridiculous $1 trillion number to state and local governments to bail out some of the states that were poorly managed.
So that's it. It's these Democrat governors in these blue states that are keeping things locked down, that are crashing the economy, and they're willing to play that game. They're talking to their buddies in Washington saying, all right, we'll keep everything locked down. We'll crater the economy. We'll put millions of people out of work. Just throw us trillions of dollars. Just do that and it'll all be good. So that's what the Democrats in Washington are pushing. Trillions of dollars more spending. They know the Republicans won't go for it. The Republicans have been willing to compromise. The Democrats won't do it because they would rather have the issue. They would rather say, blame President Trump. So President Trump took action. He issued executive orders this weekend on a number of items. One, payroll tax deferral. Another, help for student loan payments. Another, homeowners and renters assistance. Another, disaster relief for the states that can be used to extend unemployment benefits. And here's what the president said.
Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer have chosen to hold this vital assistance hostage on behalf of very extreme partisan demands and the radical left Democrats, and we just can't do that.
So, of course, Nancy Pelosi didn't react well to that. She was on Fox News Sunday this weekend with Chris Wallace, and here's what she said.
What the president did is, I agree with the Republican senator said, it was unconstitutional slop.
So you can see with a start like that, it's not going to be good. But Chris Wallace, he pushed her. He asked, shouldn't you have compromised? Shouldn't you have come to some kind of agreement? Here's what he said.
They were offering $150 billion for cities and states. You wanted $900 billion. The result of no deal is that the states and cities, which we all agree do need some money, are going to get nothing.
So that's a solid question, because every step of the way, they've been putting these coronavirus relief bills together step by step, addressing an issue here, an issue there, and then moving forward. But now the Democrats all of a sudden say, we want to have everything. We need to have everything, including $1 trillion for the states, again, to bail out their buddies, these blue state governors, instead of doing what they can agree on and moving forward. Because there are agreements. There are agreements on certain issues, but they won't do it. So here's how Nancy Pelosi responded.
Something's wrong. When you look at those executive orders, either the kindest thing I could say is he doesn't know what he's talking about, or something's wrong there. Something's very, very wrong there. So to characterize them as even accomplishing what they set out to do as something that is that would take the place of an agreement is just not so.
So that's Nancy Pelosi, and no one is saying that these executive orders take the place of an agreement. She's refusing to come to an agreement. So in the meantime, here are a set of orders that will help in certain areas. Very specific, very targeted, not all-encompassing. That's what Congress does. That's why they need to come to an agreement, but the Democrats refuse to do it. So they're going to play the blame game while President Trump takes action. And then you know what the next step is. They're going to blame him for the action. They're already threatening to sue over these executive orders. They'd want them stopped altogether. That means no relief, no extension of unemployment benefits, no relief for student loans, no relief for homeowners and renters. They'd rather bring all of that to a halt and blame President Trump. So that's Nancy Pelosi. That's what she's saying, and that's her whole coalition. That's what the Democrats are about. So next, I want to talk about Senator Lindsey Graham and the latest on the FBI and the Steele dossier. But first, if you haven't subscribed yet, or if you're new to the show, please subscribe. And when you do, please hit that bell so you'll be notified. We're making our push for 100,000 subscribers by Election Day. 100K by Election Day, and we could do it with your help. So next I want to talk about Senator Lindsey Graham because he was hot over new information, a new memo that has come out that's been declassified from the FBI that shows that they just flat out lied regarding the strength of the Steele dossier. We know it's been discredited. This was the political document that was used to get the first warrants to spy on people in the Trump campaign, spy on Americans, the corruption from the Obama administration, to spy on the opposing political party based on a political document. Well, Lindsey Graham has new information that showed that testimony before the Senate Intelligence Committee that was bolstering the Steele dossier, they knew it was wrong. They knew it was false. They knew the Steele dossier was bogus, yet they pushed it and promoted it anyway. And here's the story from the Washington Times. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham on Sunday accused the FBI of committing a new crime before a Senate committee in 2018 when the Bureau testified that a key source backed up Christopher Steele in his anti-Trump dossier when in fact the source had not. Somebody needs to go to jail for this, Mr. Graham, South Carolina Republican, said on Fox News Sunday Morning Futures as he waved a newly declassified FBI document. They misled the hell out of them, he said. They completely misrepresented to the Senate Intel Committee what the subsource had told the FBI in 2017. That is a new crime, a different crime. So it's just another indication of how bad the deep state corruption is. And that's why President Trump has taken so much heat, because from the beginning, they knew that he was not going to play ball, that he was going to go after the deep state corruption. And that's what he did. The Obama administration went after him. They targeted American citizens for spying based on political motivations. It's absolutely outrageous. And here's more from the Washington Times. Mr. Graham said the primary subsource told the FBI that his dossier feed to Mr. Steele was from friends passing along second and third-hand information. The source was outed on social media last month as U.S.-based foreign policy analyst Igor Danchenko, who has been described as being Ukraine-born and as Russian. Mr. Danchenko also told the FBI that Mr. Steele, a former British intelligence officer, seemed to have embellished some of the gossip he provided in 2016 while his work was being funded by the Democratic Party in the Hillary Clinton presidential campaign. Mr. Danchenko told the FBI that he took his sources provided with a grain of salt and told Mr. Steele that the information was just talk out of Moscow. So what Graham is upset about is that this source, Mr. Danchenko, blasted the Steele dossier. He basically discredited it. But in 2018, an FBI witness went before the Intelligence Committee and said that Danchenko supported the Steele dossier, that anything Danchenko said backed it up. Basically, again, bolstering the Steele dossier, which they knew was 100% false. They knew Danchenko didn't say that, but they testified anyway, just to make their case, just to give more weight to the Steele dossier, where if you talk to anybody now, they know that it's bogus. They know it's been discredited. They know it should never have been used for these warrants spying on American people. It's absolutely outrageous, folks. So next, I want to talk about Rashida Tlaib and the Democrats. But first, I have to tell you about my friends over at Bottle Breacher. Friends, you need to check them out. This is Eli Crane, my friend, veteran-owned company, made in America products. This is the best in man gifts, groomsmen gifts, promotional items. Just go to bottlebreacher.com, use coupon code BOBBY13 for 15% off your next purchase. All right, we're going to talk about Democrat Rashida Tlaib and what is going on with the squad. You've got Ilhan Omar. She's under investigation. She's paid her husband's consulting firm hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's her new husband. So she's basically paying herself and getting money off her campaign. It's outrageous. They're investigating that. Now it's Rashida Tlaib. The House Ethics Committee voted unanimously that she violated campaign finance laws. And here's the story. The Ethics Committee found that Tlaib violated FECA's personal use restrictions by paying herself over $10,000 from her campaign when she was no longer a congressional candidate in late 2018 in order to repay that amount back to her campaign within 1 year, the committee said in a report. The committee determined that the evidence is sufficient to support a determination that a portion of the salary payments that Representative Tlaib received in 2018 general election was inconsistent with the requirements outlined by the FECA and its implementing regulations, the report read. So, again, we've got Ilhan Omar, we've got Rashida Tlaib. These people are nuts. We had AOC and her former chief of staff with campaign finance violations, investigations, wondering what's going on with them. And here's more from the story. Weeks after election victory on December 1st, 2018, Tlaib received a $15,500 payment from her campaign, FEC records show. An unidentified Tlaib campaign staffer told the Ethics Committee that the payment represented the inclusion of various salary deferred payments that Tlaib was supposed to get that she didn't get paid during her 2018 campaign. Tlaib testified to the Ethics Committee that she had concerns about her campaign's ability to pay her a salary after her primary victory and had entered an informal agreement with her campaign to receive back pay from her campaign. The committee noted that it credits Tlaib's explanation, but concluded that she is not entitled to retain the full $15,500 payment. So, she's paying herself a salary from the campaign, just adding a little more to the back end. It's just nuts, folks. But this is why people have such a distrust in government. You've got the deep state, as Senator Graham's pointing out. You've got these ethics violations. We need folks in Washington that are going to get the job done and not go for this kind of stuff. So next, I want to talk about Joe Biden and his vice presidential pick. Who's it going to be? Democrat Maxine Waters says it's going to be a black woman for sure. So who is it? Is it Susan Rice? Is it Kamala Harris? Maybe Val Demings? Maybe Keisha Lance Bottoms in Atlanta? Who knows? Vice President Biden, I don't even think knows, or if he does, he can't remember. And here's a story from Fox News. Representative Maxine Waters expressed confidence that a black woman would be on the Democratic ticket as vice president. In a Friday town hall with Essence, the California Democrat seems certain Joe Biden would pick a black woman as his running mate based on help he's received from the black community. Let me guarantee you this, based on everything that I know and understand, that the help that Biden has already gotten from the black community, he can't go home without a black woman being VP, Waters said. We're going to have a black woman VP. So this weekend, Joe Biden was asked about his VP pick by Fox News, asked if he made a decision. He said yes. So they asked him who it was, and he said, you. What does that even mean? The reporters were left scratching their heads, wondering, what is that? I don't even think Joe Biden knows. And here's more of the story. Biden confidants who spoke to Axios said the final two candidates are Senator Kamala Harris of California and Susan Rice, who served as National Security Advisor and Ambassador to the United Nations under President Obama's administration. With the August 17 start of the Democrat National Convention nearing, a leading Biden advisor said the former vice president would use the next week or so to spend some time with the contenders on the shortlist. So who's it going to be? Let me know in the comments. Susan Rice, the poster girl for Benghazi, the one who went on network after network after network and said that Benghazi, what happened there, was due to a YouTube video. Her or Kamala Harris, who has so much baggage, I mean, where do you even start with that? If she's VP, it's going to be so interesting when all of that comes out to the American people in general. People in California know it. People in politics know it. When the American people find out, they're going to think she might not be the best pick. Those are the two leading candidates. It could be someone else. Let me know who you think it is in the comments. Folks, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and when you do, please hit that bell so you'll be notified, and we'll see you next time. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-Minute News Hour. Okay, friends, thanks so much for watching, and before you go, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you'll be notified, and here's a special video just for you so you can watch even more of the 13-Minute News Hour. And don't forget to check out GOPUSA.com for the best in conservative news and commentary. We'll see you next time.